Given the fact, and this is perhaps one of those things you don't often get to see, there is so much video now available online, right, through Twitter or wherever, or X. You can actually see the plane approaching landing and actually landing, and then see the fire, the explosion that broke out before it ended up on its roof, for all intents and purposes. So given that, I wonder what we can now start to think might have happened. Kit Darby is a retired United Airlines pilot. He's an aviation expert based in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon, Kit. So as I said, maybe the one good thing that we can take from this is that, as far as guesswork is concerned, we see now what happened. There's a lot of video of this plane actually landing. I'm sure you've probably seen it at this point already. Based on what you have seen, what can we surmise might have happened?
Well, we'll have the facts here with those recorders being analyzed. But from the video, we get a pretty good picture of a pretty brisk wind, snowy day, snowy runway, and the sides of the runway as well, all sort of white. Airplanes making a crosswind landing, which typically you'd put the wing down toward the wind to align with the runway, and that is what's happening. Makes a normal crosswind landing, quite a bit firmer than normal. Hard to evaluate how firm that really is. We'll know shortly. But at that point, it was firm enough to break the airplane, blew the tire, collapsed the gear. The wing was intact initially, but maneuvering after that hard landing, it appears the wing was broken off and the airplane rolled over on its side, all the way over on its back. So a very unusual situation. Rarely see an airplane crash, firsthand on video, but certainly they don't end up on their back very often. Very unusual. A testament to the fact that we're landing on a large, smooth concrete surface, a great long and wide runway, and that allowed a slow deceleration of the airplane and provided us with 100% survivability.
Is the idea being that had it gone off that runway into the infield or grass or whatever, it would have been much worse?
Well, the grass wouldn't be too bad, but there's buildings, walls.
Oh, had it kept going? Okay. So I'm curious as well. You mentioned we can see in the video when it hits. It as you said, it hit pretty hard. But typically, even when that does happen, right? As a pilot, what do you do to control that once you've already hit that hard?
Well, ideally, of course, you flare a little bit. You bring the nose up just slightly, and there's a cushion of wind underneath the airplane as the wing gets close to the ground. And the combination of those two make for typically a smooth landing. Bringing the nose up more, perhaps adding a little power to reduce the rate of descent. Those are things pilots can do. We don't know. It's a variable condition, so we don't have just a constant wind. We have a gust of 10 knots or so, and that was what was reported. Could have been more, and it could cause a variable situation where the pilot's inputs are insufficient, either because of the conditions or due to pilot inputs.
Had you ever seen anything like this before, where a plane actually ends up on its roof, on its backside?
I've seen a fair share of hard landings. Rarely are they hard enough to break the plane. I have seen a few that have broken the wing off like this in the past, but flipping over is something I haven't seen before.
Someone was also pointing out, given the fact that everybody managed to get off this plane and the great job by the flight attendants, etc., the plane itself structurally seems to have held up reasonably well. You mentioned a wing had sheared off, of course, but in terms of the people inside that cabin, they managed, for all intents and purposes, to be able to walk out. So that says something to the structural capability of that particular aircraft?
Well, not just the airplane, but the seats, of course, are a support for the people. They're tested to 9 Gs, I believe, which is 9 times your body weight, and they held up well. Ideally, if you're in your seat with your seatbelt fastened, the airplane is extremely strong. And that's what a testament here, that everybody was left hanging upside down, and for the most part, uninjured.
And are you familiar with this particular model of plane?
I've flown in it as a passenger and on the jump seat as a pilot riding with the other pilots. I have not a pilot on this particular airplane. It's the larger of the regional airlines. I flew the smallest of the larger airliners, the Boeing 717, about 120 passengers, and this airplane at its maximum 90 passengers. These are very close in size. So the largest regionals are about the size of the smallest larger airliners.
And this is one of those planes that I guess has been in service for a long time. There's never been any safety issues with any of these as far as you know?
This one has an excellent safety record. It's a growth version of the CRJ 700, which came out around 2000, 2003. And it's larger, bigger motors, holds more people, but both of those airframes have an excellent safety record.
All right. I thank you so much for the insight. I appreciate it. And I guess now, as you said, with the voice pit or the cockpit voice recorder being recovered and the black box, we'll probably have answers fairly soon. Is that safe to say?
We should.
Okay.
This type of accident didn't hurt the people, so it certainly didn't hurt the boxes. So they should read very quickly.
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Kit Darby, retired United Airlines pilot. So, yes, both boxes have been recorded, and hopefully we'll have more information. Of course, the most important part, everybody, as I said, seems to be okay. As our reporter said from CTV, a little bit of confusion as to who still is in hospital. 19 of the 21 who did go there have been released, and hopefully get some more information on that by tomorrow.